The member from Algoma, Manitoulin. Further debate? I recognize the member from Trinity, Spadina.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I believe you'll find that we have unanimous consent to allow me to deliver my inaugural address during the debate on this bill today.
The member from Trinity Spadina has requested unanimous consent for him to deliver his inaugural speech. Is that the wishes of the House? Agreed. Carried. Back to the member, Trinity Spadina.
Thank you. Well, thank you, kind member of this legislature, and thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to begin by congratulating my fellow Torontonians on yet another successful election. I want to thank the electors in my home riding of Trinity Spadina. You have endured 3 elections in less than 5 months. Thank you for exercising your democratic rights. It's truly an honor to be entrusted by you to serve in this great legislature. To our newly elected mayor, Mr. John Tory, congratulations on a successful campaign. You earned it. To Toronto City Council, in particular my counterparts at City Hall, Mr. Joe Cressy, Mr. Mike Layton, and the local school board trustee, Osman Malik, Joanne Davis, I look forward to working with you on the issues that's most important to our community. And I look forward to work with them alongside with our good federal member, Adam Vaughan, who was elected recently during the summer. Yay. Finally, to the newly elected mayors, Her Worship Bonnie Crombie, Mayor for Mississauga. Actually, her son and I, he used to be the president of U of T Liberals, and we worked closely during that by-election. And our very own former minister, Lena Jeffrey, Mayor for Brampton, congratulations. As a new member, I have yet to master the art of debating and public speaking, unlike the member from Renfrew, Nipissing, Pembroke, or my good friend from Toronto Centre, Mr. Murray. I have much to learn, but I would like to take this opportunity to tell you a little bit about myself and what I want to achieve as a representative of my beloved community in this provincial legislature. A few days ago, my fellow colleague, the member from Brampton Springdale, Ms. Harinder Mali, delivered a moving maiden speech in which she mentioned that she's the youngest member of this legislature. I will also attempt to put on record that I could be the newest Canadian serving this legislature, I think. Mr. Speaker, I'm humbled to stand here today in this legislature on behalf of the people of Trinity Spadina, entrusted by them with the responsibility to speak up for the community. I think many members will find the people of Trinity Spadina as their neighbors as they sit during these sessions and stay in Toronto. But I stand here more humbled as the first Liberal elected since 1990 from that riding. And 1990 is a very special year to me personally, and you'll see why. I want to thank Mr. Rosario Marchese for his dedication, my predecessor, for his dedication in representing the people of Trinity Spadina. 24 years earlier, another Chinese Canadian, Mr. Bob Wong, stood proudly as the provincial representative of then called riding of Fort York, whom, by the way, was the first Chinese Canadian cabinet minister in Canadian history. That member, during his last few months in office, acted in what would later become a bit of karmic final act prior to his unfortunate defeat by Mr. Marchese, or my colleague across the floor will probably think otherwise. The act that changed the fate of a local newcomer to Ontario, whom I call Dad. Mr. Speaker, my father first arrived at the beautiful eastern coast of St. John's, Newfoundland, as an international student. Soon he decided to forego his previous career in filming to pursue a better life for his daughter Defei and his son Han Moi. My father knew Canada was going to be our new beginning, but he was struggling with to get his family here. He approached Mr. Wang, the empathetic and compassionate individual that he is. Mr. Wang took upon himself to reach for the extra mile. He inquired about my father's immigration file, helped my dad to settle in the welcoming community, which now his son has the honor to represent. With Bob's help, my father obtained his landed status, and on September 23rd, 1990, my family was reunited. I still remember my father was working 2 jobs at a time, and he was 3 hours late picking us up that night. Mr. Speaker, that year I was 13, and oddly, or my mentor would say, that's not odd, I was fluent in Mandarin and in Shanghai dialect, but couldn't speak a complete sentence in English. Like a newborn baby, I was mesmerized by the night view of Toronto coming off Gardiner Expressway. Who would have thought at the time of the odds that that young boy will one day have the great privilege of representing the residents of those beautiful skylines? Only in Toronto, only in Ontario, only in Canada. Once my family settled in Toronto, the sense of home and the community was overwhelming. Our neighbors in the lead up to Thanksgiving weekend approached us with gifts and essentials. I still recall our reaction then was we didn't know what was going on, we couldn't understand. And my sister actually had to look up the word Thanksgiving from a dictionary. And I can't express how joyful and a sense of belonging that felt at the time that small act of a few had on us. I also cannot express how much I cherish this opportunity right here, right now, to learn what I've learned, to see what I've seen, to listen to what I've heard, and most importantly, to have the opportunity to say what I have to say on behalf of the constituents of the great riding of Trinity Spadina. That 13-year-old boy standing here today as a husband, a father, a privileged member of this assembly, thanks to great constituency work done by the former member. That assured me that small act by elected officials could have a lasting impact on one's life and his family's fortune as well. In 2003, I was given a very fortunate opportunity to work in the constituency office of the Honorable Maria Mina, former federal member for Beaches East York, helping individuals, many like my father when he went to Mr. Wang's office. Those experiences complemented by two others that have been most beneficial as I interact with young people in my role as an MPP and as a parliamentary assistant to the Honorable Dr. Reza Moretti, Minister of Training, Colleges, and the University. First working as a marketing director for a seafood processing company, I was tasked to identify and develop new international opportunities and markets, proudly promoting made in Canada food products. Today, I'm so excited to see our province is moving into the right direction. Our Premier, Kathleen Wynne's vision of an open Ontario has never been more crucial, and I'm very lucky to be part of her team. While working abroad and in the private sector, I witnessed the growth in the emerging economy and lack of opportunity offered to our new grads. So I decided to put together an international internship program with the help of Industry Canada and the Canada Shanghai Business Association. We successfully provide job opportunities to 15 interns for 6 months, where they will be trained domestically for three months and abroad for 3. Out of the 15, 12 obtained permanent employment or start up their own company. So in our mind, that was a very successful program. I look forward to bringing that experience to my role as a parliamentary assistant to the Minister of Training, Colleges, and University. Those experiences combined made me understand the importance of economic development and the crucial impact even a small effort can have on young people's life when we lend a hand to support their career growth. Those experiences, dating as far back as 24 years ago, helped in shaping my political perspective and are what drove me to run for public office. Helping good people of a great riding that I call home. Mr. Speaker, Tunis Spadina is a unique riding. I'm so honored to represent the riding that has so many Toronto's best-known landmarks. The CN Tower, Rogers Centre, or formerly known as Skydome, Air Canada Centre, where our Raptors are, I was going to use another word, but yeah, that's right, are currently having their best season in their history. And the CBC Centre, Toronto Eden Centre, Roy Thompson Hall, Four Seasons, Metro Toronto Convention Centre, where I believe Her Majesty's third party recently had their convention. The City Hall, where a former member of this House will soon install as mayor. It's a home to Ontario Place, where once again will become one of the province's top tourism and leisure facility. I, like many of my constituents, was very excited to hear that our government is pledging a multi-million-dollar investment to revitalize Ontario Place, turning it into a modernized, all-season facility that will create wonderful memories for families from across the province. I'm excited to work with the Minister of Tourism, Culture, and Sport on that initiative. My riding is one of the most diverse in the province, Mr. Speaker. Almost 37% of the residents of my riding speak a language other than English or French, according to census data. Whether it's Little Portugal on Dundas, Little Italy on College, Chinatown Spadina, Koreatown Bloor, or Kensington Market, they're a mosaic of so many different cultures and ethnicity. If any of the out-of-town member wants to go find a good restaurant, I have good tips, and I'll tell you where the best dumplings are, where the best bulgukis are. We got a great Mexican restaurant on Boeing. Yeah, that's right. Mr. Speaker, I'm fortunate that my riding also houses Canada's largest university, one of the top 20 universities in the world. I'm of course speaking of the University of Toronto. This world-class institution is producing not only the great scholars, but also well-educated and well-prepared young individuals who are ready to enter the workforce to help Ontario compete in the new global economy. Indeed, one of my own staff, my OLIP intern, Justin, is a recent graduate from this institution, and he's doing a marvelous job. I'm equally as proud of OCAD, Ontario College of Arts and Design, the province's premier arts and design university. This place has produced some of Canada's best-known artists and designers. I was recently at the Sharp Centre's 10th anniversary. The progress this institution has experienced over the years, which are tremendous. The students' work can be seen throughout the riding. If you ever get a chance to go to their annual graduation exhibition, by the way, the next year will be the 100th centennial exhibition. Last year, it was a good mix of more than 550 graduating students' work in 12 undergrad programs presenting their final thesis work to an audience of more than 26,000 guests. You'll get a chance to see or to purchase some excellent work of these bright and hardworking young individuals in this province. Mr. Speaker, throughout the election period, I had the opportunity of running into many seniors in my riding. What's unique about these seniors is their diversity, but what's common is the rich heritage and strong sense of community. I know by 2016, for the first time, people over 65 will account for a larger share of the population than children aged between 0 to 14. That's why we need to look after them. As an elected public servant, we must stand firm to ensure our elderly can age with dignity and security. I would like to commend the work that our Minister for Seniors, the Honourable Mario Sergio, has done But we also must continue to support him in delivering these promises that we made during the recent campaign. For instance, when it comes to, I've listened to many challenges throughout the writing. One of them has been accessing health care for these seniors. And their challenges are very unique to my writing compared to other places in the province. For other places, the accessibility may be an issue of physical proximity of the doctors. My writing, which has many unique, diverse communities, are challenged with language barrier. For the aging members of Italian, Portuguese, or Chinese community, that's a serious problem where patients' ability to communicate with their health care providers is limited. I'm doing my best to understand these issues at greater depths. Just this last weekend, I've visited the Mongshang Foundation's Christmas community party, where I heard the seniors again echoed our announcement previously, and they agree with our direction for aging at home strategy. Another issue during the campaign I learned is the affordability of staying in their community. The recent spike of real estate value in downtown core has made it very challenging for seniors to keep staying in their community. I'm glad that our government has introduced a few measures to help the senior, such as Ontario Senior Homeowner Property Grant. We've got to keep our senior engaged and active. I'm very happy to learn programs like Age-Friendly Community Planning Grant and Senior Community Grant Program announced last year by the Premier. I'm looking forward to more announcements like that, and I'll work hard in support of the Minister delivering these mandates to our seniors. Mr. Speaker, city planning and the decisions that defines how city and our neighborhood are built in city planning issue is a very popular issue at the door. We often hear that OMB is hampering or running counter to some of their principles. I'm of a belief that these decisions must be made local and should stay local. My predecessor has introduced a private members bill to try to tackle some of those challenges. Although I don't agree with the content of the bill, but I do agree that OMB needs to be reformed. Mr. Speaker, in my conclusion, I stand here humbled in this legislature as a proud young member of our Liberal caucus under the true progressive Premier Kathleen Wayne, who have received a majority mandate from the people of Ontario. I stand as a proud father, husband, and a Canadian who call Ontario home. I'm humbled by the trust given by the people of my community. I've outlined some of the issues that dearest to my heart, and those are the issues I heard at the door, and I will be working very hard to combat. Lastly, I want to thank the people that support me, and without them I would not be here, just like the member from Halton just mentioned. I want to thank my mentor, a former member of this legislature, Mr. Jerry Phillips. He taught me many things, many of the campaign tips, but I think most importantly, he taught me how to be a decent person. I want to thank my campaign co-managers, Jason Alexander and Ted Loico, but more importantly, I want to thank my family. Without them, I would not be here. And my wife, Sophia Chow, I know she's watching this. I want to thank her for all the understanding and all the support. To my colleagues, thank you very much for the warm welcoming. I've made a few friends, Percy's right there. And I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, member from Trinity Spadina. Further debate?